What's happening, people? I hope you're all well. First things first, the opinion I'm about to give is the opinion coming from a complete stranger online. Please be responsible when competing in the market. So, Oleksandr USYK defeats Tyson Fury by split decision. And if you, like me, placed a bet on Oleksandr USYK to win the fight and you hedged the play with Tyson Fury by stoppage, then you walked away from this situation with profit. And that is what this channel is all about. So, let's talk about it. Oleksandr USYK starts at a frenetic pace and he immediately starts tagging Tyson Fury's body. Now, people were talking about Oleksandr USYK's body being weak, and I do believe that is a chink in the armor. But no one was talking about Tyson Fury's body. Tyson Fury doesn't have the legs that he used to have. He's not as quick on his feet. Now, if a fighter's got the adrenaline pumping, and if you saw Tyson Fury walking in to the in his ring walk, to me he looked like he was burning a lot of nervous energy. But sometimes that can actually help you. If you have that nervous energy, it can make you a bit more lively and springy and alert for the first few rounds, at least, before that adrenaline wears off. So Tyson Fury, actually, he was burning a lot of nervous energy, but to his credit, he came out and was a lot more alert for the first part of the fight. And let me just say, Tyson Fury, and I'm just getting my water, that's why the camera angles are a bit funny at the minute. Tyson Fury, it's a hot day in London, a rare one as well. So we'll have to try and enjoy that as much as possible. So Tyson Fury did a lot better in this fight overall, let me just say that. And Tyson Fury, these camera angles, boy, I'm not going to get an A star. I'm not going to get an A star for filming on this one, that's for sure. But Tyson Fury he was more alert in this fight, more alert. So therefore, Oleksandr USYK aimed for that body, because Tyson Fury is past his best. He's not going to be able to keep up that foot speed for the duration of a 12-round fight. So everyone talking about USYK's body. Tyson Fury was getting tagged to the body because Oleksandr USYK was making that investment. Sometimes it pays off to go for the long-term investment. People love headshots. Boxing is obsessed with headshots. Headshots are more spectacular. But did you not watch Ajit Kabayel versus Frank Sanchez? And then Oleksandr USYK started making early investment into the body. And eventually, as the fight wore on, Fury's feet went away. These are the things that you got to do. You got to chop that tree down. So Oleksandr USYK, not only was he landing to the body, he was also landing the straight lefts. And Tyson Fury, although Tyson Fury came in better shape, his feet were faster, and he overall performed better than I thought he would. He wasn't really landing anything, but he was doing a good job of covering it up with showboating. You see, sometimes you can pull the wool over people's eyes. If it's a close round but one guy's showboating, it can sometimes give off the impression that he's doing more because he is feigning confidence. You got a close round, not much is landing from either fighter, one guy showboating, acting like he's in control. Sometimes that can sway people because humans are only human. But if you actually watch the rounds, the only person that was really landing in the opening rounds was USYK. He landed a good left hand in round one, a looping left hand, and he started round two and landed a straight left to the head. But let me just give Fury his credit here. Fury, and I did not think Fury would be able to do this for as long as he did. Fury started outboxing Oleksandr USYK on the back foot. And that is something that I did not think that an old Tyson Fury would be able to do. But he was doing it. He actually seemed to find his jab wasn't landing, but he was finding the distance with his jab so then he could set up his uppercuts. And then he started going to the body of USYK, and he definitely buzzed USYK a couple of times. He made USYK feel a body shot, I saw that. And he also hurt Oleksandr Usyk with a brilliant uppercut, a similar uppercut to the one that knocked out Dillian Whyte. And let's not forget the orthodox southpaw element to this fight, because that's always important when two different stances collide in a boxing ring. Oleksandr Usyk's foot was on the outside for the majority of that fight. Oleksandr Usyk won the lead hand control battle. Tyson Fury, there was nothing he could do about it, because Oleksandr Usyk was that much more agile, that much quicker. So Oleksandr Usyk had the ring positioning for the majority of that fight. But to Fury's credit, he was able to just stand at a distance and outbox Oleksandr Usyk, which I was not expecting. And as I said, he hurt him a couple of times. But then, and I believe a turning point in this fight was when Tyson Fury caught a left hand from Usyk to the nose. And I think that interrupted his breathing. You could see the distress signals that were coming from Tyson Fury when that left to the nose hit his nose. When Oleksandr Usyk threw that straight left to Tyson Fury's nose, you could see the distress signals coming from Tyson Fury. And you need to have a poker face in boxing. So then Oleksandr Usyk landed a combination in, I believe, the 9th round, and Fury was all over the place. Many a referee would have stopped that fight in many a different situation. What I mean by that, I want to be really clear about this. If this was a journeyman fighting an up-and-coming fighter, if the up-and-coming fighter landed that punch on the journeyman and the journeyman was staggering around the ring like that, it would have been over. I even believe that the referee may have actually tried to save Fury. I don't know. But let me just say, the referee jumped in at a very convenient time to allow Tyson Fury to recover. And Tyson Fury was then subsequently able to get out of that round. So, did the referee save Fury? Should the referee have stopped Fury? These are all question marks. These are question marks. And many people would say that fight should have been stopped. Many people would say the ref did Tyson Fury a favor. So, after that, the rounds that followed were really all Usyk. Tyson Fury had an argument in those rounds in terms of being competitive, but he did not win the majority of the rounds 10, 11, and 12. But when the fight stopped, because when we're placed as gamblers, we're not just talking about who we think won the fight. We have to consider the biases, the agendas, and the motivations when talking about predictions. Because otherwise, we're going to think this fight is better than that fight, therefore we're going to place a bet on fighter A being fighter B because fighter A is better. But we're not taking into consideration that fighter B has the judges, the ref, and the promotion on his side. And then we're going to walk away with no money, losing money, and we're going to be kicking ourselves saying, oh, but he won. Yeah, but you haven't got any money. You've lost your money. So we have to take these things into consideration. So I take these things into consideration. I thought that Usyk had won the fight, but I was worried that I was going to lose my money because I didn't think he won it wide enough. I thought they were going to try and give it to Tyson Fury. And I said to myself, it's going to be one of those horrible situations where as gamblers, we know we got it right, but we also know that it wasn't enough. You see, Fury didn't need to win that fight wide to get the nod. Usyk did, in my opinion. So, in this situation, Oleksandr Usyk actually got the win. I knew he'd won the fight, but I didn't know if he was going to get the decision because of boxing politics, but he did. Now, the roots of victory that I was talking about in my prior video to this one, when I was giving the advice, was I believed that the most likely outcome was Oleksandr Usyk to win on points. I thought he would most likely win on points, but I wasn't discounting a knockout because I've seen Fury being hurt by Nevan Pajkic, Steve Cunningham, Deontay Wilder. Now, I know Wilder's a puncher. I've seen Fury get hurt by auto walling. I've seen Fury hurt by non-punches. So this whole he's just a middleweight for me was falling at deaf ears, because I knew that I'd seen Tyson Fury hurt by non-punches. So I wasn't discounting a stoppage victory for Oleksandr Usyk, but I wasn't sure. And therefore, if you're not sure about something, it's best to hedge your bets. It's best to give yourself a safety net. And that is why I placed a bet on Oleksandr Usyk to outright win the fight. I didn't want it to be left to chance. You know, he could stop him, and then even there, you saw it. It could have very well been stopped, that fight, but the ref let it continue. So had I placed a bet on Oleksandr Usyk to win by stoppage, I would have lost all my money. So I wanted to cover both angles. I wanted to cover both sides of the play with regards to the Oleksandr Usyk side of the play, if you get my drift. So I placed a bet simply on Oleksandr Usyk to outright win the fight. And that way, if Oleksandr won it on points, I was covered. I take my money. If Oleksandr wins by knockout, I walk away with profit. So I wasn't sure if Usyk could get the job done. I thought it was possible. I thought it was more likely he would win on points, but I also knew that there was a very good chance he could get jobbed on the scorecards. But I was more confident in my pick of Oleksandr Usyk to win the fight, so I placed a bet on Oleksandr Usyk to outright win, covering both outcomes. And then I hedged the play with Tyson Fury by stoppage, because I didn't think he could keep up with Usyk for 12. And I was right. Fury did better than I thought, but he did not keep up with Usyk for the 12. Because he's getting older and he's having to keep up with a much smaller, faster, more agile guy. Albeit, I don't think Usyk is in his prime anymore, but he is not as far removed from his prime as Tyson Fury. So I hedged the play with a Fury stoppage because I thought that was the only way he could win the fight. I did think he could win it on points through robbery, but at the same time, as gamblers, this is the risk. No bet is without risk. So at the end of the day here, if we're looking at outcomes, the portfolio that I built and anyone who followed that portfolio paid off. And Oleksandr Usyk is now the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. For how long, I don't know, because of mandatories. There are too many mandatories to please. But for me, Oleksandr Usyk, as the champion that he is, there is no shame in him bowing out of the game. I think both fighters are on borrowed time now. Usyk is past his best. I was not used to seeing Usyk getting caught as often as he was. Now, Usyk has never had a Pernell Whitaker defense, but Oleksandr Usyk did have a very good active defense where he was moving his head on a swivel. This head movement was significantly less in this fight. The angles were less in this fight. Usyk is on borrowed time. If Usyk carries on and faces, let's say he beats Fury in a rematch. Let's say he goes on to fight Hrgovic. Let's say he goes on to fight that young southpaw who is 6'7". I forgot his name now. The guy that knocked out Kamil Sokolowski, the guy who stopped Kamil Sokolowski. That's really annoying, but he's escaped my mind. But he's a real dangerous heavyweight. If he stays on and fights the likes of Jared Anderson, if he stays on and fights the likes of Ajit Kabayel, if he stays on and fights all these young up-and-comers, eventually he's going to come a cropper. It's just a numbers game, and he's getting older. So I would like to see Oleksandr Usyk bow out the game, undisputed cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight, keeps his own and goes and enjoys the rest of his life. Tyson Fury is on borrowed time. Tyson Fury, due to his lifestyle choices, is now on the decline. He is an extremely talented individual, but Father Time is undefeated, people. Tyson Fury has ridden that ride as long as he can ride, as long as he could, and now I believe that if he sticks around, you're not only going to see defeats, you're also going to see stoppage defeats, because he was getting hurt in there by a non-puncher. Usyk I'm not saying he's a soft puncher, but he's not a puncher. And he went in there and he got hurt again, second fight in a row. So I believe that Fury is on borrowed time. Fury has one fight left in him max. and then he should probably retire. USYK, I would like to, he's got fights left in him, but you know, to not tarnish his legacy, unless it's for a big paycheck that financially secures his future for him and his family, I would highly suggest that Oleksandr Usyk bows out of the game now. Anyway, what do you think about what I spoke about in this video? Let me know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I make a new video. If you appreciate my work, I want to leave a donation. There's a link for that in the description. And with that, enjoy the rest of your day. See you on the next one.